Welcome to Kind Connections podcast. I'm your host, Jaybefaunt Leroy. So good to see all of you guys here. Kind Connections podcast is a safe place to be curious. I have someone joining me who I have actually first seen on TikTok with a lot of his takes ranging from politics stances as well as to music and art. And he has been an educator in helping me to understand my worldview a little bit more, which I deeply appreciate, and as well as he is a purveyor in artistry, especially in music. And I cannot wait to dive in deeply to get his perspective on all things art, culture, history, politics, and life. I have with me joining Saint Stereo. Beautiful to have you, Saint. All right. Welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm happy to finally be able to get here for one.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah.
One of the things that I actually kind of was fascinated by was you were one of those people who, as far as diving into not just political stances, but you also mix in what's the best way I can put it? A delicious sense of humor along with it. So then it's not just boring and dry. I'm not reading some big ass book like World and Peace, War and Peace, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not something that is the equivalent of me eating saltine crackers while in the desert with no glass of water next to me. Like you're like an oasis for people like me.
No state in the United States enables a family to live comfortably with $70,000 in income. So yeah, something monumental needs to be done to correct this.
Well, thank you. I mean, that's generally what I try. I try really very hard to do that, to make it more entertaining, more digestible. A lot of people don't have time or the desire to read theory. A lot of it's boring, and a lot of it comes with a lot of arduous text. And so the best way I thought to do it was to distill it into short bits, things that people could understand, commonly spoken. And what better way to deliver than humor? People are more willing to listen if they're laughing.
Yeah. And then on top of it, a lot of times people think that all we do is read theory all day and we're stuck inside some room like some hermit. Like, for instance, we read like Mao's Little Red Book like 50,000 times, and then we're speaking in this complex dialect and language. When in reality, it's like, nah, like it behind you, like you have a literal like guitar that you can shred on. And like it's things like that people don't realize that it's like when it comes to things like art and culture and history, like we like all these different things too.
Yeah, I think that's one of the main things about, like, as a prerequisite for being a communist or revolutionary is a genuine love of life. The love of life and the experiencing things is what makes me want to make it better, so we can all do that more. Or
Yeah, speaking of love of life, like right now, like I'm not trying to make anybody jealous, but I legit have a turkey chili on the slow cooker right now. Talk about loving life. And
yeah,
look, I season that thing up, okay? Oh,
I
boy.
can't cook. I can't. I wish I could. I can't.
Really?
I mean, I can do the process. It just never turns out great.
Look, if you can learn, if you can read Capital and what's to be done, and if you can read those things, if you can read, Wretched of the Earth,
Yeah,
I think you can do an omelet.
I mean, I can cook eggs a little bit. I'm good at eggs and breakfast stuff and hot sandwiches. Beyond that, it's
That's something, man.
yeah, it's something. But yeah, I've tried
Yeah.
like bigger meals. It's like, no, they don't. Timing is a thing that my brain just don't like. So that's why cooking doesn't do great. But you know, sandwiches are good. I can live off of pizza if I had to. I'm like a Ninja Turtle, you know. Pizza and soda is about everything I need.
But pizza is great though.
Yeah.
You can make so many different kinds.
Breakfast pizza.
Yeah. Lunch pizza. You can make a dessert pizza. All you need is some phyllo dough.
Yeah.
Oh man, don't get me started. Yeah, we used to make a dessert pizza when I was in a restaurant. We take the phyllo dough and then we would take it would be like a caramelized like apple, like the same type of topping that you put, in an apple pie, but we put it on top of the phyllo dough. And then we would take cinnamon sugar, put it around the rim, and then we put it inside the pizza oven, and it will puff up around the apple pieces. And then you just cut it almost like a pizza, and it's just like this apple pie, flaky, delicious goodness. And we top it with a dollop of vanilla ice cream. Just
That's actually a dessert pizza, not just a chocolate chip cookie the size of a pizza. There's this place that in town that serves dessert pizzas, but it's just a big cookie. Like that's just a cookie.
Yeah, a cold glass of milk, that and duh.
Yeah, it's not pizza though. it's a cookie.
Look, that and a big old slice of pizza. Hey,
yeah.
That's great. So one of the things I wanted to ask you was like, besides theory, besides theory, leftist thought, communism, let's talk about your love of music. Because where did that stem? Like, where did that first birth its in the mind of saints? Where did that first come about? Because now I'm getting a picture of you at 2 years old with one of those little toy guitars and just shredding in a pair of Huggies.
Yeah, I actually did do that kind of. I was like, great. Yeah,
nice.
When I always wanted to play guitar, and it came from a couple of places, but mainly in Red Hot Chili Peppers. MTV was a big thing when I was a kid, and I was with the TV a lot, and so I'd see Red Hot Chili Peppers on there, and the way they did Give It Away and Under the Bridge, that they had a lot of emphasis on their guitar's parts, and it's just something I wanted to do since then. So something I've kind of always done since I was about 3 years old, or attempted to anyways.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you take classes, or were you just learning on your own?
I tried one teacher. I took 3 classes maybe. I learned how to play Yankee Doodle, and that was it. And I never got much from it. I just wanted to shred immediately, and he was trying to teach me the basics and music theory like a good teacher, and I'm just like, I don't want to do this. And so I just looked up chords and taught myself as I went, I guess.
Oh wow. So what is one of the first songs that, besides Yankee Doodle, that you actually learned, that you actually legitimately interested in learning?
Brain Stew by Green Day was the first song. The first riff was the Sweet Dreams riff. The dun 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 dun. That was the first riff I learned. But yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, because it reminds me of when I used to. Okay, so back in the day, when a long time ago, there was a little boy named Jay. Well, I was actually adult, but I was a young adult because I'm not a young adult anymore. But I was friends with a band, and the band name was Made in China. Right? Nice. They weren't leftist, but it was a cool name. And so I have, met, these guys through, being in a religious organization that I was involved in that used to be evangelical. And so I would actually, go with them to like their shows whenever they had shows, and I would just help them out. I was actually in one of the drummer. He actually is an artist as well, and he also filmed a music video. I'm one of the extras in the music video, and so that was pretty cool. But I got to watch them riff in guitars like in their garage and just hear like them forming their songs, it was a pretty cool process to watch. And they wanted me to learn how to, either playing on the drums or guitar, but it's just my hand-eye coordination. It's just not there. So I was just like, nah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty cool to watch.
That is fun. Yeah, it is hand-eye coordination. I had to fight through. It's mine. I was pretty sloppy for a long time, but I just committed to it. I was stubborn and hyper-focused. So I think it took a minute though. I should be much better for as long as I played than I am.
Yeah. And maybe if I had been around it a little bit more, because one thing I know that my mom told me, that my late grandfather, he could play piano, and he was so good that he can just listen by ear and play the exact notes. So him and my grandmother both played piano, but there wasn't a piano in the house. That's the crazy part. And then of course my mom could sing. So, and then I did this test. It was a YouTube thing. They were talking about, like, do you have an ear for music? And I think I scored like right below where it's like extremely good. So like, if I really wanted to get into producing, I probably could be a producer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. So as far as having an ear for music, yeah, I got that. So I probably inherited that from, my family. But
yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. I actually I took band class when I was in middle school, and I wanted to play the trombone. And because now we're getting into the class aspect of it, you have to be able to buy an instrument and pay it off. And my mother, she couldn't do it. So I had to get stuck with what they had in school, which was the tuba. And I didn't like it. So my heart wasn't in it. So my grades plummeted in that class.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a similar situation happen, actually. I joined percussion when I was in 5th grade, and I didn't know you had to buy. I thought, it was drums. I wanted to play drums, or try to anyways, because band stuff. And I had to get like a snare drum and a xylophone, and I couldn't afford either of them. And so I dropped out after a few months of doing it.
Man.
Yeah.
Just imagine if kids didn't have to worry about that, man.
Yeah. If they just provided instruments by the school, that'd be crazy, right?
They do that in DOD schools and Department of Defense schools. Like, everything's paid for.
Yeah.
So if we can do that in DOD schools, then we can do that in public schools, especially if we're not paying for it through property tax. If we just pay for it, just like, equitably to each school, I think we'd be able to have this for every single student.
Oh, 100 times over. No problem. I mean, half the tire taxes and stuff cities put on could be easily halved and take care of a small thing like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, dude, I just did a story about the local high school, right? And the local high school, they literally just paid for the entire student body to go to a 2-year community college for free, fully paid.
Really?
Yeah. And if you wanted to choose to do technical education instead for that 2-year program, they can do that instead.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Seeing stuff like that happen. Yeah. And knowing that it's pretty easy. It'd be pretty easy to do that. And the crazy thing would be so much better, right? If they just provided free health or, higher education, of course, with free healthcare, that'd be great too. But beyond that, it'd be something that like the output would be generally so much better.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember being in music class, and I remember band class, and I remember having to take that gigantic tuba home, and it wasn't enjoyable for me.
Yeah.
And it had there was 3 tubas. You had Big Goldie, that they called one. I think it was Goldie number 2, and then you had Old Rusty. And who got stuck with Old Rusty?
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, if you wanted the trombone and got the tuba, it's not translatable. It's like, I want to be a sketch artist. Here's a a hunk of clay, essentially. They're
Mhm.
similar, but it's not the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I also wanted to do dancing too, but it's kind of hard to do when you're fluffy. So, I could have, but
It's never too late.
yeah, it's true.
Take a salsa class.
That would be nice too. I live in
Yeah.
Florida, and there's a lot of Latinos here, so
There you go.
yeah, it is definitely a workout. All those gatherings and weddings and stuff I went to where they danced,
Mhm.
yeah, I was sore the next day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a physical sport, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah. So remember Zumba classes?
Yes. Like those the dance workouts.
Yeah.
Or what was that other one that called the super intense one? I forget what it was.
Oh,
It was all over. I was all over infomercials and just I can't recall. Yeah, it was something like that. It was like a Zumba, but like a intense version of it.
Yeah, I remember P90X too. Everybody was talking about that.
Yes, that's what I was talking. Yes,
Oh,
yeah, yes, that was it. That's it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I mean, all these things that people were doing for me, it was kind of difficult because I think at the time I was on dialysis, and so, like energy wise, I just didn't have it.
Yeah.
And then beyond energy, whenever I had like a catheter in my chest, then I couldn't sweat, so I would get an infection. So it's like
that stuff's the worst. Yeah, I had one. I had a tube from my lungs collapsed, and that was. I've never been mean to healthcare professionals, but I was mean to these nurses that were trying to get me to reinflate my lungs. I was like, it's like you need to back off. It's terrible. Yeah.
Wow. So you definitely have experience in the healthcare industry.
Oh, I spent most of my childhood in a hospital. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah, I guess I don't really talk about that much, do I? Yeah, I have a bone disease. It's a osteochondromitis. Maybe is that how I don't know. Anyways, it's bone tumors. I was born with hereditary bone tumors, and so I get, bone tumors. I have to get them taken out like quite frequently, and
oh wow.
So I had like 30 surgeries. Yeah.
Wow, you got more. You had more than me.
Yeah, and then when I was 21, my diaphragm hemorrhaged. My liver got caught into it, and I died for like 4 minutes even. And yeah, so I've spent a lot of time in the hospital. And that's when I had the tube in my lungs. My lungs collapsed between heartbeats because they did that. Like they blew my chest up laparoscopically, and then they overinflated it, and so it collapsed my lungs and stopped my heart. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Woke up with paddle burns and a tube in my lungs.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. How long were you in the hospital?
Like 3 months, I think.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was awful.
I know what it's like to be in a hospital for 3 weeks, and that was a lot.
Yeah. 3 months just at that point, it's kind of like after about the 3 week mark, it's just like the same day until you got there's nothing to do. You just sit and wait. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're just in there, and then you don't get any sleep in the hospital.
I had to get like 16 shots of heparin in my stomach every day. So like I had to wake up on every 45 minutes or something like that for the first like week and a half at the very least. Yeah.
How much heparin?
They said for blood clots. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's supposed to be for, but 16?
Yeah, 16. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it wasn't
fun. Luckily for me, I was fluffy, so whenever they give it to me in my stomach, it wasn't going into pure muscle.
Oh, it wasn't fun either way. I was a little bit heavier back when I was 21, but yeah.
Oh my.
It was terrible, but it was all right. Hospitals. Ooh. I have trauma to the point where like I don't want to get checked anymore for anything because I'm just like I'm done with it. Like y'all extended me out pretty far. I'm good now.
Yeah. I'm glad, man. I am glad you're still with us.
No, thanks.
Man, because it can be demoralizing and depressing. It's like, why was I dealt this hand? But at the same time, I kind of feel like even though I went through all that, I hate that I went through it, and I don't want anybody else to go through it. which is one of the reasons why I feel like we should have a nationalized healthcare system so that we can catch all these things early, so that people don't have to go through it, you know?
Yep, 100%. Or like when my diaphragm hemorrhaged or herniated, either way, when it ripped open, I guess. It was for no reason, but I had healthcare, you know, I had a good job at the time, and I went to the hospital, and they left me like that in that pain with my liver all displaced, like squeezing bile into my system, poisoning me, like an excruciating, like basically at death's door for 24 hours because they were checking to make sure my insurance would cover it.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Look, I do not, I gotta be careful what I say. I do not agree with adventurism, but that's all I'm gonna say because of what happened the year before to a healthcare CEO. But I'm telling you right now,
I wrote a whole song about it.
Oh wow. Yeah.
No, the incident. Yeah.
The incident, you know,
the reckoning.
But did you see that story about this plastic surgeon? But she wasn't a plastic surgeon for like vanity reasons, or not vanity reasons, for aesthetic reasons, but it was breast reconstruction surgery for people who have cancer, things like that. And she literally had somebody on the table about to have surgery, and she had to scrub out of surgery to get a call from United Health. And they were basically saying that they were trying to, I guess, deny her coverage. And she's like, she's already given anesthesia. She's out on the table right now. I'm about to do surgery. And now you're telling me that she's not approved? And that's how the doctors make their money.
Yep. No, I was in there, and I was literally in a gurney, in a room, dying, like for real dying, for like 24 hours because they just needed to make sure I could get emergency surgery because it wasn't a pre-existing condition. Like, because there was like a pre-existing condition thing on my insurance back then, and they didn't know how it happened because I didn't get like hit by a car or something. It's just usually when some injury like that occurs. But it was just, I was sitting watching TV, and so they were like, it could be a pre-existing condition. We have to check. Yeah. And so overnight, I sat there waiting when there's like people that could have fixed it right away, you know? Yeah, it's terrible. It was United Healthcare, by the way. That was my insurance deal. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
it's not uncommon, though. That's what the messed up thing is. It's not super uncommon. Yeah, it's terrible.
And that's one thing I am not looking forward to is once, because after 3 years after transplant, you lose your Medicare. And so I have to go to private insurance, and I do not want that.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be able to have my kidney, and I want to be able to live a decent life. At the same time, I'm afraid to get on private insurance because once I get on private insurance, they're going to make things hell for me in order to be able to keep this kidney.
Yeah. This should never be calculus anyone has to deal.
No.
Yeah.
It's wild to me, man.
Yep.
How they and the thing is, like, this makes me wonder how many people would still be alive if we didn't have to deal with insurance, period.
It's incalculable, honestly. Yeah. There's a lot of people, like, because like I'm not going for for trauma reasons. For one, I just don't want any more hospitals in my life. But for two, like, I don't have insurance right now, so like I can't go. Like, so I just don't. And so things, they compound. Like a little thing, like you might get a hernia or something you can manage, but then you just ignore it because you don't have money, or you need to work, or you can't afford to be sick, and then all of a sudden that compounds and just adds on to a bunch of other things. And yeah, you know what I mean? Terrible.
But Cuba is an oppressive regime.
Yeah.
Yet, if something like that happens, you can just go straight to the doctor and get, treated.
If I went to Cuba, they would treat me today, even. It's not even just like they don't have like a just nationals policy. Like they have a help whoever shows up at a clinic policy.
They're actually about to do a flotilla to go help out Cubans in Cuba.
No kidding, though.
Oh, man. And by principle, like, yeah, if I could, I would go to Cuba, but not right now because of what the United States is doing to them. And I would want to take up that space in a Cuban hospital. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Also, as fatigued as I am from being here in the States, I can't in good conscience leave while I think I can help affect some change in some way. And I think that's, I don't fault people for wanting to. I encourage them not to, but I understand the motivation to get out of this. But yeah, I think until it's done, I'm going to be here. But as soon as though I want to go to China afterwards, that'd be great.
Well, let me ask you this: let's dive into our revolutionary optimism just for a second.
Yeah,
and go a very positive, happy rainbows and unicorns route. Take that trip with me. Let's say we actually do hypothetically get the system that we desire as workers, as proletarians.
Mm-hmm.
What would be the first 3 countries you would visit just if you could today?
I would go China for like Shenzhen, Chongqing, stuff like that.
Nice.
I want to go to Japan, but like I don't know about anymore. That was like my dream before I was really class conscious, and I was a huge I love Japanese stuff. I knew the language and everything, etc. I knew it. I don't know any longer because like if you don't study that or talk it just goes the hell away. But yeah, I was able to speak it for a while there. But yeah, I can whatever. Anyways, beyond that, I think I want to see the Northern Lights, like the real Northern Lights, like really bad. Mm-hmm. And then anywhere with a beach. It doesn't matter where.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I would love to do. Like, if I could travel, if things were the way I would want them to be, I would want to go to, well, first I would want to go to a place like Burkina Faso, especially after they start to build up, their productive forces and have the government that they actually want to have. Because from what I heard, Captain Ibrahim Traore, he's doing pretty good in that regard.
Yeah. Seems to be.
And then I would also love to, dude, I'm gonna vacation in Gaza.
Yeah.
I just want to go to Gaza and go to the beach and hang out with the Palestinian people.
Have you seen their beaches too? Like, oh man. Gorgeous. Seriously, the Mediterranean.
Yeah. Like, yeah. And I'm like, you know what? No wonder why these parasitic capitalists want to take it over, because it is beautiful, just like Haiti. Like, if you see like the rural areas, like the beachside areas of Haiti, you'd be like, is this Hawaii? No, it's Haiti. Mm-hmm. That's how gorgeous it is.
Mm-hmm. It's better than Hawaii. It's in the Bahamas. I mean, like, come on, it's the Bahamas. Yeah. It's gorgeous over there.
Yeah.
White sand beaches, blue water. Jamaica too. Jamaica's gorgeous as well.
Yeah. And then I'm kind of stuck between DPRK and China.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would want to see all of Korea united again, but if I could, I would go to DPRK just because. But I also want to go to China. I had a comrade, she just recently came back from China. That's how I actually was able to get my little red book.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's an original copy from 1961.
That's awesome.
Yep. Let me show you.
You got like a piece of actual communist history.
1966. I'm sorry.
Still though.
So let me see if I can show it. Can you see? Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep.
First edition. Wow.
Yep.
I'm jealous.
Yeah. Yeah. She got me the 1966.
That was dope.
Original copy. Yeah. Yeah.
Maoists, on the other hand, sometimes. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not good.
Yeah. She also got me usually when I'm on my other channel. I don't have the screen there, and you can see the picture of Mao in the back. But I want to get one of Sankara and Sankara, Che, and I'm thinking, well, just because he's my birthday twin, Kwame Ture.
That's my goat. That Kwame is my goat, dude. Like I love like Kwame, Stalin, and George Jackson are like my three like go-tos for like.
I interviewed his nephew, right?
No, really? That's awesome. That's crazy.
Yeah.
George Jackson.
Yeah.
Blood in my eye. Just that kills it.
Yeah, that book was intense.
At that age too. Like like when he was writing that, like what, 19, 20, I think.
Yeah, he was young.
Yeah, that's
they
wild.
all were, man.
Fred Hampton too, yeah.
And Bobby and Fred. I'm talking about them like I know them. But they all were like really young. These were young dudes.
Yeah.
Hell, Fidel was young, and Che were young. Like all these revolutionaries were like very young guys.
I have no idea how old Stalin or Lenin was. Lenin was old, like for sure. Lenin was in his 40s by the time the October Revolution occurred.
I don't know, but and forgive me for this, but this is the thirsty side of me. Stalin in his 20s and 30s was fine. I ain't gonna lie. he was
Stalin never stopped being fine to me. I mean, like, what he did, like, yeah, it's dope.
Wait.
I don't know how old he is, to be honest. Like, I have no idea. That's weird. I just never thought about that. Yeah.
You know who kind of favors Lenin to me a little bit? Have you ever seen the channel Second Thought?
Yeah.
He does a lot of
Yeah. I have.
JT, he looks like Lenin to me a little bit in the face.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I'm like, that dude looks like Lenin.
Yeah.
He probably take it as a compliment. So, if he ever sees this.
Should see me in a suit with my hat. I pull good Lenin, I think.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did a whole video. Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah. Maybe I should dress up as Paul Robinson for Halloween. That might work.
What was that? Just a suit, I guess, probably.
Basically.
Yeah.
I gotta find like a gray suit. Like a charcoal gray.
Paul Robeson was legend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you ever heard his speech with I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say if I wanted to do Kwame Ture now, just put on a dashiki,
Well, I mean, or just the wraparounds he wore in the 60s all the time, like every interview he was in. That'd be pretty valuable. Yeah, he was. Well, he was just what I love about Ture is he just like did not care. He just did not care. Like he told it like it was, and he just was like, I'm not gonna soften my language for you. I'm gonna tell you what's going on. This is it. This is what we need to do. Get with it, people. And it was his like ability to convey things, helped me understand dialectics like way more than theory. Just to listen to him talk, or his book as well though. Well, it's just like a collection of his teachings. That was called Stokely Speaks, and that's it's just like what he taught about some of his teaching lessons and then some of his speeches and stuff, and it was fire. Yeah, it helped me understand quite a bit.
Yeah, you remember that? I see if I can find it. But there's a particular video where Kwame Ture is speaking, and people are lined up to ask questions or give comments, and this one young guy comes in. He goes, I think violence is stupid. And Kwame is like, wait. What do you think about capitalism? And he's like, I didn't say anything about it. I don't think, and he kept trying to it felt like he was trying to say how to him violence itself is just stupid and crazy. And then Kwame goes, let me ask you this. If I'm a slave and you're my master, and the only way for me, and you're oppressing me, and the only way for me to get away is to kill you, then, then
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, he's like, does that
And
make me
the guy
violent?
gives
Do
up.
that? Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah. Well, he flipped it. He flipped the whole frame. He was like, this isn't violence. He's like, we're doing protection from violence, which looks like two violent people. That looks like violence, but it's not. Defense is never violent. That's a fact.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to talk about slave rebellions were not violence. They were self-preservation, and they were self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
Nat Turner was acting in self-defense.
Mm-hmm. Without question.
Robert F. Smith was acting in self-defense. The Black Panther Party, for self-defense, was acting in self-defense. It's just, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one of the things that was pretty cool, was that the way he was able to think and turn things around. And he didn't use this complex jargon. It didn't sound like he liked to hear himself speak. And this is one thing I learned, and this was almost a light bulb moment for me. And this was when I was an evangelical, and somebody was giving the talk, and he said that the greatest teachers are the people that are able to explain things in a simple way that you can understand, because the focus isn't on yourself to sound or seem intelligent, but it's to impart intelligence onto others.
Yeah.
And wisdom. So,
yeah, if you're going to come at someone and try to teach them something, you're going to say, like, we have to rise up against our oppressors and free the proletariat and the state and the class. If you use all the language that's in the books, half people don't hear you. It's not that it's. When I was learning about theory, I wasn't just right when I got on TikTok. I stumbled into Communist Live, I remember. Mm-hmm. And it was the first time I think I've ever heard communists talk among themselves. And I didn't understand a word of it. I remember literally not knowing what they were talking about. And I was like, I don't know. I can't participate in this conversation because I do not know what you're talking about. I was an anarchist. I didn't do theory outside of anarchist theory, which is very simply written because it's not the best theory. But, it's not.
Yeah, it was like that for me too. It was also like that for me learning about foreign policy. I literally had to keep a thesaurus and a dictionary with me just to learn more about foreign policy. And I'm still learning down to this day, but there's a lot. And so, for me, it was a big learning curve.
Yeah. I feel like there's specialized language, but then there's intentionally obscure language too, which I feel like a lot of legalese is where they just they make words for things that don't need, although maybe not, but it does seem to be that way sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. And that's one of the things I think that is best is for us to use this plain spoken English when it comes to explaining things. And it also helps us to be able to understand a little bit better, because if we're really trying to reach the masses, then you kind of have to make things more simple. And it's kind of like food. If you have a complex dish, it's kind of niche.
Mm-hmm.
You got a few people that may like it, but not too many.
Yeah, more accessible. Yeah, absolutely.
But if you make it something simple, for instance, how many people love a cheeseburger?
Not a lot of vegans, but everyone else, I imagine.
Yeah, well, compare the amount of vegans to the amount of people who are meat eaters.
Way more, yeah.
So I mean, or for instance, macaroni and cheese.
Yeah,
it's simple, but at the same time, it appeals to so many people.
Yeah, it's easy, it's fast. Yeah, I get that. That's a good point. Same with same exact thing with arguments or just speaking in any sort of way to teach people. But it's something I've noticed is a huge issue a lot of times with people on the left communists, where they will use a theory as a way to punch down, as a way to dunk on people, or to like have disagreements. And it's like, why are you a communist again? Because like the whole point isn't to just be better than people, is to help raise people into revolutionary thinking. And you can't do that by being a jerk about everything. That's just not how it works.
Yeah. One of the things I also learned is that not everybody's going to be where you're at. You just have to meet people where they are.
Yeah. They're on their own journey somewhere. Yeah. No one's born with this, right?
Yeah. I remember being proposed to by, now make it sound like a marriage, but I'm being proposed about communism by communists in my DMs when I first started being more politically aware on Twitter. And I was already on the left side of the Democratic Party. The only Democrat I ever voted for during an election was, oh my gosh, was Andrew Gillum for Florida governor. That was in 2018. After that, well, technically Bernie Sanders, but outside of that, that was it.
I voted for Biden in 2020. Yeah,
really?
I did. Yeah, I didn't know. I literally thought I was helping fight fascism. That was my whole process. My whole thought. I was an anarchist. I didn't know what I was doing. You know. Yeah. I learned.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just like the old saying goes, where a lot of religious people from the Bible say, you know, when I was a child, I used to think and do childish things, but I'm no longer a child. So, you know, we grow in that way. You know, but
your audio is scrambling a little bit. Let me see if it might be my mic. Do I sound okay to you?
So yeah, I mean, one of the things that I think we were just discussing, especially, well, hell, let's talk about technology, right? Because one of the biggest issues that I see, you know, and constantly with technical difficulties is in regards to you know, planned obsolescence, right? That, and a lot of people don't know what planned obsolescence is. It's basically the premise that companies will create a product to break down within a short period of time, so that you have to procure that same product again, and it creates more profits for corporations. And so it annoys me to no end, because it's like every single time you know, you get used to a certain thing, then they're saying, oh no, you need a new one, right? That's something that annoys me to no end. And it, you know, we just literally went through that, and it's consistently been a bummer for a lot of us, you know, living in this country.
Yeah. Or they make it so you can't fix your own stuff, or any of the above. Can you hear me okay? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, so like, yeah, the whole idea, it's like you said. Do you know where it came from? Have you heard the origin story? It's pretty interesting. Of the planned obsolescence, the light bulb cartel.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
The villain origin story.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like, well, I mean, not cool, but like interesting. As like, they for sure knew they were making products too good and purposely made them worse. So,
yeah,
capitalism.
Isn't there a light bulb? I think is it in the UK or someplace where
California? Yeah,
it's in California, and it's been on for like 100 years. Like an incandescent light bulb has been working for over 100 years.
Yeah,
it's never came on. It never went out.
Nope. No, century bulb, I think it's called, or whatnot. Yeah, so it's it's pretty interesting, I think. Well, it's not as interesting as it is as a interesting fact, an anecdote maybe, but yeah, they have a live stream of it, and I watched the live stream, and let me tell you, it's not that interesting. It's like you're just watching. It's just the light bulb's on, you know. I get it. Cool though.
But the fact that it still operates after a century.
Yeah.
You know,
I change lights on this like every year, probably.
Yeah. I mean, I have, I shouldn't have looked at my light, but now I'm seeing the floaties. But I have a LED, right? And it's supposed to last between 8 and 10 years. but which is better than the incandescent bulbs we used to have that got super hot. I don't know if you, I don't know how old I am, but I remember those.
Yeah, before the mercury bulbs or whatnot. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
A couple of months in, if you shook the bag that you bought, it's just like you just ruined all the light bulbs. Yeah,
pretty much. So, I mean, thankfully, we have the LEDs now, but even still, like they're not as good. But that's one of the things. But do you run into this as well with like your guitars, your music instruments, that they don't last as long as they should to you?
music instruments are probably one of the weirder things in to where like the reason Fenders and Gibsons and Martins are held in such higher esteem is because they put time into it. They actually you have to. It's not something you can skimp on necessarily with instruments, because if you do, then you're going to hear the difference immediately. So this is one of the things where it's insanely expensive to get a good quality guitar, like a $1,400 probably about the base is what I would like pay for like an ideal setup. When like it should be $100-200 probably in products, but it's still like marginally better than mass produced because stuff like that. So it's like one of those weird expertise kind of areas that doesn't maintain market logic all the time.
Got it. Yeah, they actually showed. There was this one guy on YouTube where he actually showed the difference in price of pianos, and he went from like the cheapest piano had to be like $350 to $400, and then he went all the way to one that's like well over like $100,000 to this big grand concertina piano.
Mm-hmm.
And he played the same song, and you heard it in these different pianos, and you could hear the difference in the quality.
Yeah.
And it's like you better not have you better be able to get at least a good 100 years out of that concertina piano.
Oh yeah.
For that expensive, and it better be something that you can pass down,
mm-hmm.
because ain't nobody gonna be spending something over and over for something like that. But
yeah, there's not really a way to like out. Yeah, if the minute one of the makers would start making like where there is still though, because they're using parts that are like electronics and stuff that you have to replace and strings, and they make up their money in different ways. Yeah. But if you did it in a way that would affect the instrument's quality, it would kill like the entire industry. Musicians are snobs, you know how it is. They'd be like, no, we're never going to do that again. So
yeah. Maybe this may sound kind of weird, but I think that the working class should be snobby when it comes to the quality of stuff that we get.
Yeah. I mean, we should be extremely precise about what we want and what we like, because we have the craft to make it, and like we make good stuff. So
yeah,
we should.
I have a comrade that proposed that there are certain technologies, like for instance, right, cell phones. He proposed that our cell phones, he said, in a system where it's egalitarian, all things like our cell phones are modular, which means that you don't have to replace the screen, but if there's something that needs to be updated within the processor, then that can be replaced. Yeah. And it's like everybody owns a phone, and then there's central planning that says, okay, we have this many millions of people who need an update on their phone, so we are going to update everybody's phone and send out these updated, it could be updated chips or processors or something like that, and then they send them out, and then people can just in their own home replace it and then put the old one in a pack, and they send it right back to the manufacturer recycles it and then creates brand new ones out of that.
Yeah, it's wild once you understand how this stuff works, like how central planning or planned economy would really function, how much more obviously efficient it is, Like people are like, oh, what if we would never get widgets or spinners if it was a planned economy? It's like, yes, you would if you wanted one. Like that's the entire point. It's like if the people want something, there's resources to do it, and then you get it much more efficiently than just making 7,000 bazillion things, hoping that somebody buys them, wasting resources and filling up landfills.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, imagine if we had even the need for plastics would go down.
Hmm. For everything. Yeah.
Remember, well, I don't think neither of us are old enough to remember that, but they used to have milkmen, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm
milk
aware.
was in glass bottles, and then so they would just put the glass bottle. It's like, what do they do with
Yeah.
the glass bottles when they're finished?
Yeah. Did you just reuse them? Yeah. They'd fill them back up and resell them. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so
It's a good
and I mean,
idea.
if you really need it to, like it's non-toxic. All you got to do is even if the bottle's cracked and smashed, you take it back, and then they can remelt it, and then remake new bottles, and then boom, you have recycled glass bottles, and it's no like health risk to us because you don't have things like microplastics and stuff like that either.
Yeah. We're all part microplastic now, I think, is what I've heard.
Does that make me a Ken doll?
Yes. Yes, it does.
All right, now it looks good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm probably not anatomically correct anymore. So,
I mean, Ken wasn't either. If you really want to get into it, Yeah.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah.
But at least I'd have abs.
Not that great, to be real.
Yeah.
Yeah, abs are overrated. There's better ways to not have abs, I guess.
Yeah.
Who wants to do 60 crunches a day? And you have to do it forever. If you want abs, you got to keep them forever. It's not like you get them and then you're done.
Yeah.
That's how my brain thought it worked, and it don't though.
Yeah. I mean, whenever I do upper body, I do I was doing the alternating leg crunches, and I graduated to 50 now. So.
Oh yeah, right on.
Yeah, but it's kind of I had to make sure that I don't eat too soon before a workout because then my stomach starts cramping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I hate that feeling because it's like trauma from being on dialysis. Whenever I have those dialysis cramps, worst cramps ever. Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, when they inflated, when my lungs collapsed, when my heart stopped and everything, the air gets trapped inside you. Like it doesn't just go away naturally, like when they do laparoscopic stuff. So like it travels through you and I don't know, gets out of you somehow, like through your skin. It just equals out at some point. If because they'll have pockets left in there if they didn't like push it all out before they seal you up. And so like I had a whole pocket of air like working its way out of my back. And it was like while I was in the hospital, when I couldn't move, I was, getting all them shots and everything. And on top of that, I had like this horrible pain from this air just trying to force its way out of my back. That was horrible.
Oh my God.
I was like, Lancet, just go get a scalpel. Just get it out of there.
Oh, wow.
They're like, it don't work that way. I'm like, all right, well.
Yikes, man.
Yeah, it was a fun experience. Yeah. 10 out of 10, recommend.
Yeah. So when people complain, that I'm feeling kind of gassy, you have no idea.
I hate that nonsense. Yeah, it's like, oh, you don't even know. I had this crazy random thing up, and that makes your complaint less valid.
Yeah.
Hurts at the time. It don't have to be measured.
Yeah. You just take some gas X and be done with it.
Still though.
Yeah. And so I think that's one of the things that I'm really terrible with is I think I'm in my head when it comes to these medical things so much to the point where I guess for being on dialysis as long as I have, it's like I guess I kind of feel like I just don't want to go back. And so I think that's one of the reasons why I'm being as healthy as possible now. Like 99% of what I eat is whole foods, lean meats, lots of veggies. Like if you are what you eat, then I'm a broccoli.
Yeah.
I'm broccoli.
That's good though. That's real good. Because I try to negate the way that I eat with exercising as much as possible to make up for it and taking vitamins, but I still need to do better because I don't want to go to the hospital, but I do want to maintain.
Yeah. And fiber is your friend, people. Fiber is your friend.
That's true.
Yeah, because and one thing I learned, and correct me if I'm wrong in this, but to me, being the healthiest version of yourself is really an act of rebellion.
Yeah.
Against the system that wants you to depend on
Pharmacology
yeah, essentially, and until pharmacology is in the hands of the people and not corporations, I feel like it's our duty to try to keep ourselves as healthy as possible. And I'm not against medications because I'm literally on medications. I took medications while I'm on the stream. People didn't see, but I took them. But I think to try to take as least amount and maintain as healthy of a life as possible so that you don't have to depend on the capitalist system as much as you need to,
Yeah. I think that's something I realized in the last couple of years was that they want us to drop out. They want us to be less effective. They want us to be sick, independent on them. And like if you're not healthy because you're letting yourself go and depression and stuff like that, I guess it's that vicious cycle to where we can't do anything at that point because which is understandable for anyone. I'm not trying to guilt. I'm just saying that, yes, it is revolutionary to maintain yourself as best as you can and rely on them as least as possible. My whole thing has just been trying to drop out of it entirely as much as humanly possible.
Yeah. Even mental health, dude. Like
that is a big thing for me. Yeah.
Like I'm trying to stay off of Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter, good. Just
I don't
keep it that way.
Yeah.
But for me, I remember I was going to respond to somebody about something, and this person was being a jerk. And so I was about to respond. I'm like, man, bump this guy. Let me turn on my PS4 and play some video games. Yeah. That's what I did.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that like to just get us into fighting for nothing. Just to fight. And that's not great.
Yeah.
But that's more like just people, I think, at this time. Especially in social media. You give someone a little bit of anonymity and watch them go wild, which is crazy.
That's true.
I think they're just playing. I honestly don't believe that's how they really are, though. I think it creates this kind of like illusionary culture, or like that shifts people's perspective on what like the world's really like, because the loudest people talk the most often and flood the airwaves with this signal that we're all ingesting. But like, I think people are much more reasonable face to face, so to speak. Like when I get trolled on TikTok, I get like a lot of like implicit threats and stuff, like on Instagram, on TikTok, it doesn't matter where. And if I'm doing really good, I'll get a few a week even. But I've never once had anyone try anything. I don't hide where I am, I'm very open. And that kind of just makes me think maybe it's just not all that. Maybe it's just a bunch of kids being villains or playing the villain. Hopefully. But yeah.
Speaking of which, it's kind of funny that you mentioned that, because there is a particular right-wing grifter that has made himself pretty famous online, and then he just was recently approached by anti-fascist, anti-racist people. His name is Nick Fuentes. And he was approached and he was confronted about his racist and oppressive rhetoric. And his knees were knocking and he was nervous. And he was like, oh, I'm not racist. I'm Mexican. My last name is Fuentes. And I was just like, you know what? Fascists are cowards.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
They are cowardly, man, to the point where like they have all this smoke online when you're thousands of miles away, but the moment you approach them and say, "Oh, so you don't think I should exist, or you think that I should be, you know, under your thumb?" Then they are stumbling over their words. They do not know exactly what to say or how to reply. They can't stand 10 toes down, and there's no fighting them.
Mm.
And it's kind of funny that way because it's like people think that the actual left is like that when it's like, no, we're not. People think that the actual left are a bunch of, soy boys. And but the thing is, like, yeah, we are soy boys, but we're soy boys that love the Second Amendment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we love to actually spar and fight. And we go to the gym. It's kind of weird like that.
Yeah. That's why it don't really affect me when people are like talking like that. It's like I'm like, all right, but I don't got to worry about it. And like you said, I practice my constitutionally protected amendments when I move about in the world, so I'm not worried.
Yeah, while eating tofu.
While eating tofu and drinking a good big old glass of soy milk.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I will drink a glass of soy milk while practicing Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
It's hilarious.
Dance fighting's the best fighting.
Yep. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people get mistaken about many of us.
Yeah.
What is one of the things that people often get, wrong about you or has a misconception about you?
That I'm hard to approach, or that I'm people tell me a lot that I'm intimidating, and I try not to be. I try to be very open to talking to people. Anyone can reach me in my DMs or just come up to me and talk to me. And a lot of people have told me I'm intimidating, which is, I don't know why, I guess. I look intense, or I come off as judgy maybe because I speak very bluntly. I'm not sure. But that's it. I get it, but it's also disappointing because I try really hard not to come off that way. So I'm still working on it, I guess.
Yeah.
More or less.
It's kind of funny because my mother told me this years ago, and I don't know, it kind of hit me when I heard it. But she said that I'm the type of person when people see me around, they try to be on their best behavior. And I'm like, what? And I guess in so many words, it's like they don't want to. It's almost like if I look at them and I see them in the wrong light, it's almost like a vampire being shown sunlight. They're like, it's kind of like one of those.
I feel like I get what you're saying. Like your example is held to high regard, and they're like, so they don't want to be around someone that might make them reflect on something that they've done that's not good. Maybe is what you're saying, more or less.
Yeah, I guess. But here I am. I'm beating myself up every single day about what I'm not doing right.
Which is probably why people feel that way. Like I get that. Like if you hold yourself to such a high standard, like people be like, I wonder what they might be thinking of me then. If like my ex used to do that, where people absolutely adored them, and they were like one of the better people, social butterfly types, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she would always just bag on herself, and I was like, if you think that badly of yourself, I was like, you must think I'm a piece of shit. Or excuse me, but I was like, you must not have a great opinion of me. But I feel like that could be kind of similar to that, where like some people who try the hardest are just viewed in the higher regards in social settings.
But that's the crazy part about me. Like, I honestly, I am way more harder on myself than I am on anybody else. And I hold myself to so much higher standard to the point where I give way more leeway to other people than I do to myself.
Yeah.
And it's like, so for me, it's like, why would you think that I think any less of you? Like, for instance, I remember, was it my nephew or my niece? I think it was my nephew. And he didn't tell me about something. And he was like, I just don't want you to be disappointed in me. And I was like, what? It was like something that never even occurred to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you're,
because I'm very proud of him. And I'm like, dude, like, why would I be disappointed in you? Yeah, like, but the thing is, like, I disappoint myself. And then also, another big thing about me is like, I always get imposter syndrome.
yeah. Yeah. I feel that. I can relate to that in a huge way.
Yeah. Like when I first started in this, podcasting space and being in Revolutionary Blackout Network, I felt like I didn't belong because here are all these brilliant minds and people around me that knew so much about the world and so much about politics and foreign policy, domestic policy, all these different things. And I felt like, what can I contribute? I have nothing. And people would tell me, no, you contribute a lot. And I would feel within myself that no, there's somebody way better, way more eloquent, has more qualifications than I do. I literally only have a high school diploma. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the limit of who I am.
Yeah.
And I'm literally having on college graduates and people with master's degrees and doctorates on my channel. And I'm still like, yeah, I probably just tricked myself to this point.
No, I think for one, like, you're very capable. I feel like that's obvious to anyone who's seen any of your stuff before. And two, you're brilliant at it. The way that you engage is very, very friendly and very kind. And that's like you can't teach that, for one, to be real. No, that's something I need to work on. I get like, I'm very fine in my own spaces, like where I can control everything on like a video or a live. But like when I go and talk to someone in a real conversation, I get like this, where I'm kind of hesitant and my brain will think faster than my mouth. But about that though, I'm trying to say is that because I experienced the same thing where like I'm like, why does anyone listen to me? I do not know. I'm not perfect. I don't have any answers. I'm just talking about what I'm learning and taking everyone with me as I learn this stuff because I don't know what I'm doing. And I think like that's kind of a thought that's given to us, right? From like the ruling class, from above us, that you need these special qualifications to be able to talk about something, or that, which is, of course, you should have experience and be able to know. You shouldn't just wing everything. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that like if you can talk about something, a piece of paper from a school doesn't stop that, and it shouldn't. And we should be kinder to ourselves when we engage in things that have been traditionally gatekept. And I feel like that's a part of being revolutionary, is just not giving any sort of emotion to the old standards for what made somebody qualified. You know what I mean? Like it should be more in your action, not more in your qualifications, like previous qualifications.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think one of the things that I think part of it is also you're taught that your worth is only because of the accolades that an institution gives you.
Mm-hmm.
And like, for instance, one of the people who I have a lot of respect and reverence for is a man that's a former gangbanger that did not finish high school, that does mutual aid around the country, and that essentially people will hear him and think he doesn't know much, but he's actually one of the most brilliant people I know.
Are you on social media, or is this someone in your...
Both.
Yeah.
Part of the network that I'm in, his name is Rome. He does mutual aid, and he taught me how to do mutual aid.
Mm-hmm.
And when you listen to him about whether it be foreign policy, domestic policy, whether he talks about the proletariat and workers. He was the first communist that I was actually in association with, and he used to be in gangs, and he's younger than me, and I don't think even he recognizes the brilliance that he has. And I'm hoping that he's starting to know it now. But I think one of the things that we attribute to is that there's so many people that have a formal education where they may be good in one area, but it's just that one area.
Mhm.
But even still, they're educated in that one area, they still get a lot of things wrong. And when I look at a lot of these, like, especially like the Ivy League institutions, a lot of these colleges, they will adapt themselves to a system that is predicated on exploitation.
Mhm.
But then to them, in their minds, they don't dream big enough and say, oh, we can actually have an egalitarian system that doesn't exploit the masses. To them, that's impossible. And to me, it seems like they're if they're educated, then they're educated fools, and they exist. And
Yeah.
so the thing is about, it's not just about knowledge; it's about accurate knowledge. It's about accurate, objective information. And a lot of people get their information, they're skewed into one way versus a more universal objective truth than what we see,
Yeah. I think there's a lot of overfitting that happens in this stuff. And like, I think a big part of our issue is like what we qualify as intelligent or someone who's like a genius or anything like that is kind of a misattribution of what happens when a lot of privilege meets a lot of hyper focus. If I met, all right, when I was about 10 years ago, maybe, when I was just out of high school, I had a friend who went to college, got his PhD, or not his PhD, his master's in marine biology. And this kid, when I saw him again when I was like 30, thought until he told me he thought until he was 21 years old or so that everyone had a pool in their backyard, that every backyard just came with a pool. Like, meaning he never had been to a house with, he had just never clocked in his mind because he never saw that, which was alarming to me. Like, that's an immense amount of privilege. To every house you ever been in had a pool in the backyard if it had a yard. And so he presumed every yard had a pool in it. So I feel like what I'm getting at is like he still has a master's degree, went all the way through college, and years later found out everyone didn't have a pool in the backyard. And at that point, it's kind of like, what is intelligence really? If you can go through your whole life without considering that.
Yeah. It is a big thing for us to really contend with, that intelligence is really just about what is around you. Let me ask you this. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say everyone's a genius at something. We're all good at something. Every person has something like a value to contribute in their own ways, whether it's like socially or like, maybe you're into math or maybe you're into art. I mean, there's something that everyone likes to do something. And so that's what I've slowly come to realize, is that like there's always a intelligence, if you want to call it that, to be measured in somebody in one way or the other.
So in a roundabout way, you just said a quote from Albert Einstein. It's one of my favorite quotes in the world. Albert Einstein said, "Everyone is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life thinking that it's stupid."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that is more or less what I said. Yeah, I've never heard that quote though, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm just as smart as Einstein, I guess.
Yes, you are. Absolutely so, but with better hair.
Oh, thank you. Well, I don't know. I couldn't. I think he pulled off the mad scientist pretty well. Had to be intentional, you know.
That is true. That is true. That is one German I definitely rock with.
I'm German.
And why?
Yeah, no, that's cool. Like, do you like science? Are you into that stuff?
Yes. It's kind of interesting because one of my favorite sciences is actually astronomy. I actually think astronomy is pretty awesome. Actually, let me show you this. Hang on.
I always get astronomy and astrology confused.
Astronomy is study of the stars.
Yeah.
Astrology is study of how stars influence your personality. And a lot of people think that astrology is like a pseudoscience, and so, which to me, it's kind of like
it's a spirit science.
It is.
Yeah.
But there's a point in my head where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get kind of metaphysical here, so I don't know if you're ready.
Please do.
I feel like there are energies that we have yet to discover that we haven't been able to measure in a scientific way that kind of correspond to what we see as metaphysical. Like, for instance, the ability for me to talk to you from a far distance and have almost no lag in between time to talk to each other and commune with each other in this way. 500 years ago, this would be considered some form of witchcraft or spiritism.
Yeah.
A lot of people who discount, or for instance, and I spoke with Delilah Barrios, who is a Native American, and she talked about how burning sage and smudging is actually scientifically proven to be good for our health. Yeah. Back then, they thought, oh, that's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. But now scientists are like, wait a minute, this is actually correct.
Yeah. I think that's please.
Could the people who are in astrology be correct? We just haven't caught up to them yet? I don't know, but there are things that kind of overlap, and some people will say, well, this doesn't mean anything. And I'm like, yeah, well, maybe. But at the same time, like,
I think
you see, not correlation doesn't equal causation, but you do see a lot of coincidences of people born during certain dates and certain times, things like that. So I don't know.
I feel like maybe a more unifying take on all that stuff, because I feel like what we know about the universe, I'm going to get like kind of a little bit off the course here. Maybe it just stop me if I get running on too much. Like, the universe started very simple, right? Pretty much everyone believes that. Like, doesn't matter religion, first God said the word and then there was light, or, the Big Bang in science, or the mass dense hot expanding early universe. It doesn't matter. It all pretty much says there at one point it was nothing. Now here's everything. That everything, unfolded. It became more from very little. So, like, there's always more things being discovered. There's always something new. It doesn't, any scientist that's just like, we know everything now, isn't doing science anymore, right? And so to discount what can't be discounted is just foolish. It's not the best idea. And I think history, if anything, has humbled humanity every chance it has, to be like, anytime that we think we know something for sure doesn't exist, it'll pop up. I think that's something that everyone should hold in. Remember that people believe things that don't need to be real for other people. If, like, that's not real for you, cool. Then that's fine. Like, doesn't make it not real or not have real effects in people's lives. And I think that should always be respected.
Yeah. As long as it doesn't oppress other people, I say, hey, okay. It's just like, for instance, when we're trying to figure out, about people being transgender. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I first heard about it, I was just like, I kind of don't get it, but it's not hurting nobody, so whatever. But then, if you go back hundreds of years, Native Americans, they call people two-spirit, or the spirit of one person is in the body of a different one. And then it's kind of made sense when somebody was like, well, technically, if you are somebody that believes that the soul survives the death of the body, and you being that you're against that, but you believe that a spirit of a person can be absent of their body, meaning that if there's a female spirit inside of a male body, then you can't accept that.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, okay, but at the same time, it's like, this is, it feels like the natives of each culture had something scientifically correct. We're just catching up.
The frame's changed, the frame's changed. It's I agree. I think that's very valid. Yeah. And I feel like really what's more important is just like, why do people gotta care what other people do? It's just how it affects production, really, capitalism. It just all loops back.
Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, and people assume that those of us who are socialists and communists, that we don't believe in democracy, when in fact it's the complete opposite. We believe in democracy so much that we want to expand it beyond where it's at.
Mm-hmm. I want real democracy. That's what I tell people. Like, I actually want democracy. I don't want whatever this is. This isn't democracy. Mm-hmm. Well, it is for the rich, I guess. I don't want bourgeoisie democracy. I want proletariat democracy.
Yeah. And so it's like, we want, somebody was, I had on Jolie Peltier, and he was talking to me about the Iroquois Confederacy.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the founding fathers got a lot of their ideas basically from the Iroquois Confederacy. And so what we know today actually originated in indigenous thought.
Yeah.
When it comes to social issues like LGBTQ, these things actually existed in indigenous cultures in the Americas and in Africa before colonization ever came about. The only reason why we really have homophobia, transphobia, and queerphobia in Africa is because of these legal codes that were brought in by like British colonies.
Missionaries,
and so,
too.
It's like we learn this stuff from the oppressor, from the colonizer. And then you also look at people who existed, when you had, and I would love to talk to somebody about indigenous Europeans, right? Because how often do we talk about them? Like the people, like the Irish, and the indigenous people in Eastern Europe,
Then there's like Wales and the Gaelic and Ireland, and that's about all I think I'm aware of outside of the different indigenous and Russian culture.
But what were their beliefs? What were their traditions? Like, I would love to see that, and I would love to see it celebrated. Like, that would be awesome to see.
Yeah. The Irish, actually, the Gaelic, they're taking their language back. It was like something that was outlawed by the crown for a long time. Wow. And there's this band called Kneecap that like made a movie about it. It's where like this is these three dudes who like rap in native Irish, and it's like really actually pretty amazing. It's cool to see. But it started this whole movement where people are speaking in their native tongue again. So that's cool.
That is too cool, man. Like, I would love to see that, because why not?
Should be celebrated, honestly. Yeah.
Would you say that we're old-fashioned in that way? Going back to what made us human? I'm
not for reversing everything back to where everyone, I want to honor the roots and build more together. Like, and I feel like I get needing to reconnect with who you are, to understand where you're going. You have to know like where you're from, what happened. But outside of that, I feel like it falls too much into just us versus them territory quickly, in my idea or in my mind, how I've seen it happen.
Yeah. I do want Starfleet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love more than anything to go into space. That'd be amazing. It's probably never going to happen, but it would be cool.
Yeah, but I just got a visual of you in a Starfleet uniform in my head.
Yeah. I'll be Captain Kirk or Spock,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what would look good on me. Maybe the yellow. Maybe the yellow.
Was that medics?
Huh?
What was the yellow's captain, right? Or
Oh no, the yellow uniform.
yeah, in Starfleet, right?
Yeah. The blue would look good on me too, though. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm trying to think. Maybe
I don't know what
dress up as a Star Trek, a Starfleet commander one day.
generation.
Oh man. I don't know. Maybe if I shave my head, I can do it Captain Cisco.
Or you could just be Cisco with hair, you know.
Yeah. I can do the version of him with hair, but he just looks cooler, bald.
Hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's something that I think will be amazing. I just don't want to. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, it's my fault. I think that when we finally, because we're going to, it's at some point, not saying it's guaranteed because it's very possibly this could end horribly before then. But if we get to persist, I'm pretty sure it's inevitable at some point because consciousness, the way that information spreads, the way society has to interact. When you can't unknow. I mean, you know how it is, right? When you become class consciousness, there's no one seeing it, no matter how much you want to forget in the beginning there. And I think it's just something that's inevitable because once we could communicate and collaborate right and have everyone with enough resources and enough time to actually do the things, we've already seen what happens. We've seen Russia, we've seen China, we see what they can do. Imagine that scaled to everybody. That'd be insane. We'll get Starfleet one day. Just got to get there first.
Yeah, Russians were the Soviets were the first ones in space, dude.
They won almost every leg of that space race. Almost every single one. Didn't get to the moon first. Everything else they crushed us in.
Yeah, fam, if they were the first ones in space, imagine what we can do if we had a similar system. We probably would have been back to the moon already.
Yeah. Did you hear that they're going back to the moon?
Yes, I actually spoke with somebody that works at NASA. They're doing a moon mission. Yes.
I just can't. I can't with it anymore. It's just I love NASA. I love. Well, not its origins. I like space, I should say. So that was my core connection to space. I'm not for their staff at all, especially in the beginning there. But I can't. I just stop spending money on this, y'all. We got so much here. What we need to do is stop building rockets, please. It is silly to spend that much time and resources into something. If you're acting like we have scarcity, then put that money, and everyone should be like that. Stop funding NASA. Stop giving money to these people. It's ridiculous. Because if you can't solve the solutions on your own planet, what are you going to do if you encounter ET? You know what I mean? It's a crazy notion to me now.
Yeah. I mean, hell, we can't even solve the Close Encounters of the First Kind, let alone the third kind.
Close Encounters of my neighbor. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're parked on my lawn again.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yep.
How do you feel generally, though, if you don't mind me asking, about the vibe, about the way that you see things progressing, about your own experience with that? Generally optimistic or
cautiously optimistic?
That's a good word for it. Yeah.
I'm okay. So I'm pulling myself back from the rose-colored glasses phase because I can be overly optimistic, and I have comrades that are realistic on borderline pessimistic side. And so, they're still organizing, but to them it's it's going to go to shit.
Yeah.
It's just going to go there. And I'm just I'm like, maybe. I'm kind of like edging towards, the optimistic side, and they're just like, nah, it's gonna go terrible. It's gonna be terrible, but we're still gonna fight. I'm just like,
It's already terrible, though, to be real. Yeah. I think that I'm both. Like, I think that it's getting terrible. It's going to get worse. I believe that. But I also believe that's what is required for it to get better. So it's like dreadful optimism, maybe. I don't want to see terrible things happen, but at the same time, I know that this is a terrible thing happening. Like, just, today outside is like, to most of the world, that's a terrible thing. And so I want to see that end as soon as possible, in the safest way possible. Like, but like, we need to all collectively just be on that, I think, sort of. I hope, but I'm still optimistic that I know that we're good. I know that we're worth it. I am. I think you are. And I feel like that's enough for me to even just care. Like, just that right there. Like, I like enough who I am. I like enough of my comrades to know that if any portion of the population has that in them, even a little bit, it's worth it. So that gives me hope in the biggest way.
you know what? I think we should leave on that. I think that was a beautiful message because I believe that too. And if we're ever doing way down the line and in memoriam, I hope they play that part when we remember you. That piece, unless we cryogenically freeze you and then we wake you up in about 500 years.
No, yo, let me sleep if that happens. Just leave me, just leave me there.
All right, but I'm gonna wake you up from the nap just for a second. Be like, hey, look,
Yeah.
we got Starfleet, dude.
Yeah. I'll be like, oh,
He's
cool.
like, yay! Can I go back to sleep?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Wake me up when I get to Andromeda. Yeah.
Nice.
Because it takes like 2 million years, I think. So it's never.
That'd be nice. That'd be kind of cool to see. We'll never know, but maybe we will.
Maybe. Never say never, I guess. Except then.
Words by Justin Bieber.
Yep.
Say never. All right, man. Thank you so very much for joining for this conversation, fam. I've been wanting to have this for a long time, and you didn't disappoint. You elevated the conversation once again. I gotta tip my hat off to you.
No, well, thanks. I mean, I truly appreciate it and everything, really. And sorry about the technical difficulties. That was an issue.
Nah, no more technical.
But no, it was great. It was a wonderful conversation. Yeah,
definitely. All right, take care.
You as well.
All right, bye. Hey, you just watched a Kind Connections podcast. Thanks so much for watching. If you would like to see more, you can click right here. And thank you so very much. And don't forget to hit subscribe.